Hi, just messing around with a little arrangement of Alfie by Burt Bacharach. We lost Burt Bacharach last week. He was 94. He had a good long life. Man, he wrote a lot of very successful, very good tunes. Most of them with Hal David, some of them with people like Elvis Costello in later years. Dr. Dre, he did something with Dr. Dre. When he was a kid, he had said in interviews that he snuck into jazz clubs to hear people like Dizzy Gillespie and Count Basie. So he had a jazz inkling. But he also studied with a famous French composer, Darius Milhaud. And I saw an interview once where he was talking about that. And Darius Milhaud, even though he was a classical composer, and I guess kind of a modern classical, he encouraged Burt to just follow and write whatever kind of music you like. You know, you don't have to conform to any rigid standards of, classical leanings or whatever. I mean, just do whatever you do. And he did. He wrote great pop tunes. And Hal David, Hal David should not be underestimated. He just wrote some wonderful lyrics. And to me, one of his best lyrics is probably this song, Alfie, from the 60s. I think it's from 65. Great versions are out there. Dionne Warwick, a British contemporary of the Beatles. I can't think of her name right now. Cilla Black had done a version also, but just a great tune. And lots of jazz guitarists have tackled it. So this was just me doing my own little thing on Burt Bacharach's tune. I often think of the Brill Building. It's kind of legendary now, and it was probably nowhere near as exciting back then in reality as you think of it now. But I guess in the very late 50s, early 60s, into the mid 60s, there was this Brill Building. It was 1619 Broadway at West 49th Street in New York City. And, at a certain point, all these great pop songwriters were in there. And the story always goes when they're interviewed that, they had a crappy, upright piano in a little room, or a spin-it even piano. And a couple of them were married couples, Carole King and Jerry Goffin. Jerry Goffin was a pharmacist by training, but he wrote lyrics, and Carole King wrote some tremendous music. She was in there in that building writing things like Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good, later a hit for the Hermits. I think she did We Got to Get Out of This Place, which was also recorded by the Animals. She had the girl groups, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? And then, of course, in 71, she had that massive, huge album, Tapestry. There was another married couple, Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann. And at some point, they were in there writing away with their little crappy piano, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, which eventually became the most played record, I think, of the 1960s or 20th century or the 1960s, whatever. It's funny now, talking about a century that's a different century from the one I'm in. But you also had Burt Bacharach, and working with Hal David, the lyricist. And, it's amazing when you look. I have a Burt Bacharach book here, the Bacharach and David songbook. When you just flip through, it's really bizarre. It's like, what the world needs now is love. Anyone who had a heart, Alfie, The Windows of the World, Wives and Lovers, Walk On By, Only Love Can Break a Heart, The Look of Love, Always Something There to Remind Me, Message to Michael, You'll Never Get to Heaven If You Break My Heart, Make It Easy on Yourself, I Say a Little Prayer, Wishing and Hoping, I Just Don't Know What to Do with Myself, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, This Guy's in Love with You, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Just an amazing output of music. So years ago, I had picked up a couple of very good guitar books by this man who's now no longer with us, unfortunately, Howard Morgan. I think he was based in Long Island in New York. And anyway, I bought a couple of his books. This one is Concepts, where he kind of actually teaches you some of the concepts for arranging solo guitar. He was a fingerstyle guitarist, very well known. And this is Concepts. And I think after working with this book for a while, that's when I started to develop my little Alfie arrangement. So I'll give you a look at what I wanted to mainly share as far as Burt Bacharach. This is just a tab I did a few minutes ago. And it's for when I get into a little bit of adding extra chords, adding little bass lines. It's hard for me to see what I'm doing here, but hopefully you can make that out. Not much to it. It's a few measures. But basically, just to quickly get to it, Alfie is in the key of C. So you could start with a G7 sus. It's a finger-style arrangement, by the way. So I'm borrowing the first two strings. I've got the open third and fourth strings, and I've got the G on the sixth. So sometimes looking at these piano-based books, like I have one here, sometimes it can be very fruitful because, I would never finger a G7 sus that way. I would always finger it this way. But, for finger picking, sometimes it's nice to venture into different voicings. So the first chord is C add 9, and the melody is, so the straight way would be C in the bass, part of a C chord. And then this particular arrangement in the book has D minor 7 over G. So it would be C major 7. This is a C 6/9, E minor 7, A7. This is just 6 right here. And then we go to an E minor 7. Pinky's on the 10th fret, first string. And then A minor 7 with the G melody on the second string. Okay, so, if you follow it to the letter, it's nice, and it goes along very nicely. But the part that I wanted to share with this little thing and the idea, the germ of it, I think was, a lot of Howard Morgan at the time, years ago, having gone through his book, and a little bit of Charlie Burt, because I have a beautiful arrangement I had learned by Charlie Burt of the Beatles, Here, There, and Everywhere. So it was the idea of finger picking, and you could have the notes of a chord spread out, like the first thing I play here on the Alfie arrangement is you got G on the first string, 3rd fret. You've got the A on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, open D on the 4th string, and you've got the G on the 6th string, 3rd fret. So it's kind of spread out, and you're not playing all 6 strings. So again, it's finger picking. So we have this F, E, F. Now, you're going to have G on the 1st string, F on the 6th string, and you're going to put the middle finger on A. So that's how my little arrangement portion plays out. What's happening is you've got that little bit of almost contrary motion. So you've got the 2 Gs. What's it all about? Now when you come back to the G melody, you've got the F in the bass. This is just something I came up with after the Howard Morgan experience. So again, now to add in the middle, all that's happening is we go from E on the 4th string and open G to open D on the 4th string and A on the 3rd string. So it's like move that middle finger, and now this is just F's on the 1st and 6th string, A on the 3rd string, open D on the 4th. What I'm doing here is I'm barring at the 8th fret, first 5 strings. I've got the ring finger on the 4th string, 10th fret. I've got the middle finger on the 3rd string, 9th fret. It's kind of an F major 7. So here we go. Play the open E, play the D on the 5th. Okay. So this always happens to me, even when I write it out. When I go slowly, I can't play it. Dementia is a tough thing. Let me try looking at my own little thing that I wrote here. So this is just to give you a little flavor of things you can do. First of all, the chord, when you look at the books, any book, it's going to be C. C major, C add 9. And it's static, it's just, what's it all about? All over the C. Okay, so I wanted to get a little movement. So again, that idea of, I've got the moving bass, but in the middle, I've got da 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 dee. So it's, this is that D minor 7 over F, and then this is the F major 7, 7 that we just looked at. You've got 8th fret on the 5th string, 10th fret on the 4th string, 9th fret on the 3rd string, and you're barring across to grab the 1st string. So we're not playing anything on the 2nd string. We're not even, that's why you need the finger picking technique. Okay. Play the E here. Play the D. So now go to the 6th string, 9th fret. So what's happening is you're going to play the 6th string, 9th fret. You're going to have the 4th string, 9th fret. Okay. Try it one more time. Here it is. So 6th string, 9th, 4th string, 9th, 2nd string, 8th. It's weird. It's spread out, you know. Put the pinky down on the 2nd string. C major 7. Play the C on the 3rd string, 5th fret. Play the B 2 octaves apart. 1st string, 7th fret, 6th string, 7th fret. Bar across, play the 1st and 6th strings as well as the inside, the 4th and 3rd. Bring it down a fret. So when I bring it down a fret, I'm just playing the 6th, 4th, and 3rd strings. Now we're going to go to a G 6th. So play the 6th string, then the 4th string, and then the 2nd and 3rd together. A flat up to open A. Now we're going to do octaves. We've got an E octave here, 4th string, 2nd fret, open 1st. 3rd string open, 1st string, 3rd fret. I always like this, if I say so myself. This is just, I've got my E on the 12th fret of the 1st string. I've got 2nd string, 10th fret, 3rd string, 9th fret. Index is on the 5th string, 8th fret. So it's, and then this is just 2 notes. 1st string, 10th, 5th string, 7th, and then we land on a, so I'm playing the 8th fret 1st string, 6th fret 2nd string, 7th fret 3rd string, with the root D on the 5th string 5th fret. Okay, whole lot of talking, not a whole lot of playing, but here we go. One more time from the top. G6, play G sharp up to open A, and then this A7. Melody goes E, G, and then here's that little part, F major 7, D minor 7, this is the 6th again, E minor 7 with D on the 1st string, 10th fret, okay. So that's the part that I wanted to cover as far as my little finger picking arrangement. Let's try it one more time from the top. This is that G sus. No doubt diagram for us by a non-guitar player, probably a pianist, did it in the book here I have. And then yeah, and then we have R, we meant to be kind, G13, but I'm adding the A because that's our melody. Now I'm doing trinotone substitution. I'm going to have D flat 9 with the sharp 5, the A, because that's still the melody on the 1st string. So it's back to what's it all about. This is basically F minor 7 flat 5. This is an F13 going to F7. The melody's moving on the second string, and then now the melody's moving on the first string, F9 or F13 down to F9, E minor 7, melody D down to C over an A minor 7. Again, F minor 7 flat 5, F13. Melody's moving on the second string. Now it's on the first string. E minor 7. Now we've got, this is D7 sharp 11. And then let go the open fourth string and play it. I think I'm going to continue it next time because I'm checking my timing here. It's a very long video. Anyway, just wanted to do this in memory of Burt Bacharach, who wrote so much wonderful music. If you get a chance, check out the album he did with, well, I think he might have done two, but the first one with Elvis Costello was called Painted from Memory. There's some gorgeous songs on there. What I did at the end of Alfie, hopefully you have Alfie in a fake book or a real book or something. What I did at the end was I just threw in a little bit of his other beautiful song. Octaves here, E, G, going up to a B minor 7 with a third, the D on top. Going to E minor 7 with the B first string as our melody. So it's play the D, back up to the B minor 7. Now we've got C sixth. No. So that's, the melody is going A, G, A, E. I played the open first string E. Back to C major 7. E, G on the second string. B minor 7. D13. And then I just threw in a tiny bit of Wishin' and Hopin', which was a big hit for Dusty Springfield back in the day, written by Burt and Hal David. This is a D flat major 7, A flat 7, G flat 7. This is like a, it's kind of like a B minor 7 over G. So it turns out to be kind of like a G major 9. And then down to an E minor 9 and the ever-present 12th fret natural harmonics. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Throw me a like, please. It really helps. And I look forward to seeing you next time. I hope you find it helpful. Have fun.